Alright, so even before there's a trailer, I've got some spoilers for the upcoming G.I. Joe prequel, Snake Eyes. This was given to me by the same guy who got me spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong that I posted here exclusively. And it was screened privately a couple weeks ago. Very close to being finished, 98% done. We haven't even seen a trailer for this, and I've got pretty much the entire plot right here in this video. So if you do not want to be spoiled on Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Snake Eyes coming out, I believe this July, click out the video, and I respect that, no problem. So, let's talk about Snake Eyes. So this is a prequel to G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe movies, but it may be a reboot depending on how well it does. Snake Eyes is no longer played by Ray Park. It's Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians. He's the one playing Snake Eyes now. So the movie, according to what he told me, is very similar to Mortal Kombat in some ways. It's a samurai ninja movie with great martial arts scenes. The third act has some amazing katana and sword fights. Let's talk about it. So this is what he told me. He said, and I'm going to quote him, he said, "This movie is what X-Men Origins Wolverine should have been." So the movie starts off with a flashback to the distant past, father and son, very much like Mortal Kombat, with Snake Eyes, who's a kid with his dad, and then there's a home invasion that happens, and the Asian mafia attacks. And he gets out of the house or whatever, and then his dad confronts the mafia leader, because they're after him, and to protect the kid, he hides the kid, and they kill the dad and burn the house down. Again, very similar to Mortal Kombat. Flash forward to the present, or at least the present during the movie, and Snake Eyes is an MMA fighter, again like Mortal Kombat, in the ring. He kept telling me, and I shit you not, he says it's like Man of Steel, where he's working different jobs, everyman jobs, different jobs to make money, make ends meet. So another villain comes to the gym to recruit him, who knows who he is and knows who he's after. Doesn't explain to me why. When the movie comes out, I'll probably know. I don't have everything about the movie, just most of the plot here, the basic stuff. So he recruits him, promising him to get revenge. So Snake Eyes meets Storm Shadow in this ninja clan, and he's not called Storm Shadow yet. We'll more on that later, but I'm going to call him Storm Shadow for the purposes of this video. And they work in a warehouse transporting weapons, smuggling weapons. Batman Begins type of moment where Storm Shadow is accused of breaking their code. And the guy who recruited him wants him dead. So he wants Snake Eyes to kill Storm Shadow, but Snake Eyes refuses. There's a huge badass scene in a warehouse. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes escape. So Storm Shadow tells Snake Eyes to go train with him to get revenge. She's like, I come to this village, we're going to train and get revenge. That way you don't have to make any deals with anybody. You can then go after the guy who killed your father. As payment for not killing him. He's told me that the movie was beautifully shot in Asia, very authentic Japanese ninja samurai type of film. Better than Mortal Kombat, more heart, more emotions. So there you go. I'm just telling you what he told me. I wrote notes while we were talking. So Snake Eyes trains with different masters to learn new skills. Blind old black man trains him to find his inner peace, which is a big story plot development for later. Another training scene underground in a pit with two giant snakes, or maybe it's one snake, and then he loses to the snake because he didn't control himself. That's going to come into play later. So the village is protecting this magic stone, and this stone can be used as a weapon and can turn people into dust, like what Thanos did. He just dusts people with it. That's what you can do. And there's a part later in the movie where they dust someone like Thanos. He told me that the villains also want the magic stone. So earlier in the movie, about halfway, Snake Eyes is told to steal the stone. He doesn't want to do it, but he wants the guy who killed his dad. So he goes steal it, and then we find out the Baroness from G.I. Joe is working for the main villain. And that main villain is the same guy who recruited Snake Eyes, who has the guy who killed his dad. He didn't tell me the name of the guy. I don't have that for you. So Baroness is hired to supervise the weapons. You find out it's actually Cobra at one point in the film because they have the Cobra insignia. So they are teasing what happens later in this film. So Snake Eyes gets caught stealing the stone. Storm Shadow's grandmother is the village leader, who's a badass. She kicks ass later in the movie. Storm Shadow gets chastised about bringing an outsider, so they banish Snake Eyes from the village. Storm Shadow feels that he and Snake Eyes were brothers, but he feels betrayed. So that sows the seeds for him becoming an antagonist later on in this franchise if they continue it. So he told me there's tons of Easter eggs in the film for G.I. Joe fans, but even if you're not a fan, it's a kick-ass, emotional samurai ninja movie. Snake Eyes goes to turn in the stone that he stole. He snuck out. So the guy who killed his dad is chained up, so he does get his hands on that guy. Snake Eyes confronts him and talks about how he killed his father. He then has a vision of the past, which we see earlier in the training sequence. You find out his dad was an original G.I. Joe, but they weren't really called G.I. Joe, right? But you never knew this until this moment in the film. While this is happening, the villains go attack the village. Snake Eyes does not kill him and frees him. There's a big freeway chase sequence. Now again, a lot of this should be in the trailer, which is not even out yet. So if it is, you'll know this is all true. Snake Eyes, I don't even know. I'm just telling you what he told me. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and these guys are on motorcycles on top of one of those big trucks with the cars in it that we see in all the Fast and Furious movies. Gritty action, very violent movie. The third act's in the village, the finale of the film. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are still working together. Snake Eyes gets the full outfit here, the Snake Eyes outfit, and he's fighting against these guys who want the stone. The villain does die, but the Baroness does not. She escapes. Snake Eyes is lured out to the forest area to fight the main villain in the finale. They end up in the pit with the snakes. This is where now Snake Eyes can control himself and control, like, unlike earlier in the film, he's able to control his anger, and the snakes end up eating the villain instead of him. So he ends up being okay, but the villain ends up being eaten by the snakes, which is how he dies. And I really like that. It's a good idea. It's a good finale, I think, based on what he told me. And I am going to go see this movie because I did love G.I. Joe when I was a kid. There's more, by the way. I'm not done yet. I did love G.I. Joe when I was a kid. I wasn't a huge, massive fan, but I did watch the cartoons and had some of the toys. But I was more of a TMNT Transformers kid, you know what I mean? G.I. Joe was kind of at its height prior to, like, me getting into cartoons. Turtles was my big thing and the real Ghostbusters, but I still like G.I. Joe. So Snake Eyes becomes a vigilante afterward. Scarlet is in the film, throughout the film, played by Samara Weaving, who looks just like Margot Robbie. So she's going to be in the movie, and I guess she's actually in the finale. She fights with them. But I guess she's not really a major character. She's more so keeping track of them for future movies. The mid-credit scene, or the post-credit scene, the Baroness finds Storm Shadow in the post-credit scene, and he's in a white suit on a plane, and she's recruiting him, and that's when they start calling him Storm Shadow. That's when he actually gets his name. No, call me Storm Shadow. So he's going to be Storm Shadow throughout the entire film until the very, very end, when they reveal that he's Storm Shadow, but they don't call him Storm Shadow until the end. So it does leave the movie open for a sequel, or obviously it's a prequel to the other G.I. Joe movies, but he thinks they might actually reboot everything and just start from here and do more like Snake Eyes movies if this movie's successful, or at least critically successful. So it does sound like a fun movie. It sounds like a movie that I think could be a lot of fun for you guys. I love the Shang-Chi trailer, and so these kind of films, these Eastern martial arts, samurai ninja films, I'm all in for that kind of stuff, and it's also G.I. Joe. So tell me what you think about these spoilers. Again, I got them from my source, who's same guy who got me the Godzilla Kong spoilers, which were about 95% accurate. He got one thing wrong, which I guess was more of an assumption. Maybe the way I worded it was wrong. Could have been my fault. But everything else about the plot was on point. Center of the Earth, goes to Hong Kong, like, he nailed it. So I think he really did see this movie, dude. He wouldn't have these many details if he didn't. This is an exclusive, only on World of Geekdom right here. If you hear it from anybody else afterward, either they had a different source or they got it from me. That's just the truth. So subscribe if you are new. Hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I will talk to y'all in the very near future. Thanks for watching.